Hi friends, in our earlier videos we have learned how to write journal entries, how to record the various transactions of a business in the journal, and then in our next videos we learned how to prepare ledger accounts, how to post the journal entries from the journal to the ledger. Now in this video we'll learn how to balance ledger account and prepare something called as a what is something called as a trial balance. So what is a trial balance? Trial balance contains the balances in the ledger accounts. So what we are going to do is in this video we will learn how to balance a ledger account and then how to show that balance in a paper or in a sheet called as the trial balance. So I have already prepared some ledger accounts here for the sake of ease. Now if you see the cash account, it has some journal entries already appearing in it. Entries have been posted to the cash account. Debit side we have 10 lakh, 5 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh and 2 lakhs. And similarly some entries have been posted on the credit side. So how do we balance this account? Now I want to know what is my cash balance. How do I do that? I'll just draw two boxes here on the debit side and the credit side. I have to total the debit side. The total of the debit side is 10 plus 5, 15 plus 3, 18 plus 4, 22 and 2 is 24 lakhs. The total of the debit side is 24 lakhs. What is the total of the credit side? The total of the credit side is 1 lakh plus 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 2,000, 4 lakh 27,000, 6 lakh 27,000. So the total of the debit side was 24 lakhs and the total of the credit side is 6 lakh 27,000. Whichever is higher, the total of the debit side is higher, so that amount has to be written on both the sides like this. Okay, now the question arises, what is the difference between the total of the higher side, this is the higher side, and the difference between the total of the higher side and the lower side? So I want to know the difference between the numbers which are appearing on the debit side, that is the higher side, and the lower side. So I have to subtract out of 24 lakhs the amounts appearing on the lower side. We know that the total of the credit side was 6 lakh 27,000. So the difference is 73,000. It will be 17 lakhs 73,000 rupees. So if you want, I'll write it here. 24 lakh is the total of the debit side. Credit side total was 6 lakh 27,000. So the difference will be 73,000 and 17 here. Okay. Now I have put the difference between the higher side and the lower side on the lower side. So if I write this amount on the lower side, both the sides will balance. I will write here by balance carried down. So what I'm going to write here, I'm going to write by balance carried down. How did I get this figure? I totaled the debit side 24 lakh, I totaled the credit side was 6 lakh 27,000. I put the total of the higher side in both the columns, and to make this column equal to this column I have to write 17 lakh 73,000 here. So this is the difference between the debit side and the credit side. Now this has to be brought forward to the higher side now. To balance brought down 17 lakh 73,000. Now what is the meaning of this number? The meaning of this number is on the date of balancing, whenever I'm doing this balancing exercise, let us say I'm doing this on 31st March, this is brought forward on 1st April. On 31st March, at the end of the business, I have a cash balance of 17 lakh 73,000. So this is the amount of cash which I have in my hand now. Now how to show this amount in the trial balance? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the trial balance. I'm going to write cash account debit side 17 lakh 73,000. Why am I writing it on the debit side? Because in cash account the debit side was higher than the credit side by 17 lakh 73,000. So what I'm saying is in the cash account debit side is more than the credit side by 17 lakh 73,000, or we can say if I remove the credit total from the debit total, I am left with 17 lakh 73,000 on the debit side. That is why I have written it on the debit side of the trial balance. Okay, now let us take one more account. If you can see, I have prepared one more account for your convenience. Bank account. I'll again draw these two boxes here. Now if you see in the bank account, I have two entries on the debit side, 2 lakhs plus 1 lakh. It is very simple, 3 lakhs. Credit side is 1 lakh, 250 rupees, 50,000 and 10,000. So just by viewing the account, I can understand that the total of the debit side is higher. So I'll write the total of the higher side in both the columns, 3 lakh rupees. Now how much should I write in the credit column so that it becomes equal to the debit column, or we have to find out by how much the debit column is greater than the credit column. So out of 3 lakhs I have to subtract the amounts appearing on the credit side. So what is the total of the credit side? 1 lakh 250, 1 lakh 50,000 250, 1 lakh 60,000 250. So out of 3 lakhs I have to subtract 1 lakh 60,000 250 rupees. So what is the balance I'm left with? 750, 39,000 and 1 lakh. So this is the balance I'm left with. So 1 lakh 39,750 is the balance which I'm left with. When I write this amount, both the sides will become equal. So I'll write here by balance carried down. Now I bring it to the higher side. To balance brought down, 1 lakh 39,750. Let us say I'm doing this on 31st March and this is brought forward on 1st April. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that if I subtract from the debit side of the bank account the items appearing on the credit side, I'm still left with 1,39,750 on the debit side. Okay. Now this is actually the bank balance which we are having on 1st April, that is at the close of business on 31st March and at the start of business on 1st April, 1,39,750. So how do I show it in the trial balance? I go to the trial balance and I'll write bank account 1,39,750 rupees. I have to show it on the higher side. So this account was having a balance on the higher side, so I show it on the debit side only. We'll take up one more account. Let us say I have something called as the capital account. Suppose the capital account is having only one entry on the credit side, buy cash, 10 lakhs rupees. So how do I balance this account? It is very simple. Now in this situation, in this particular ledger account, there is nothing on the debit side, but the credit side total is 10 lakhs. So I have to write the total of the higher side in both the columns. Now how much should I write on the debit side so that it becomes equal to the credit side? I have to write 10 lakhs here. I will write to balance carried down. This we do on 31st March. Then on 1st April, I'll write by balance brought down 10 lakhs. So what is the meaning of this 10 lakh balance brought down? It means if you subtract the debit side out of the credit side, you will be still left with 10 lakhs on the credit side. So this is the difference between the debit side and the credit side in the account. So I'll go to the trial balance. I'll write capital account. I have to now write it in the credit column because the credit side was having a total of 10 lakhs which was greater than the total of the debit side. Okay, so this is how I start preparing my trial balance. So you can see that the balance are now getting accumulated in the trial balance, so and so forth. All the ledger accounts are balanced. They are put in the trial balance, and at the end, if we total the debit side and the credit side of the trial balance, they should both tally. Okay. In our future videos, I'll show you balancing of some more ledger accounts.